Well, hey, mamas, I want to know, does your teen have finals? Let me know down below with a yes, a no, or an unsure. Because as we're preparing for the end of the semester, one of the most important things that your teen needs to know is that answer. Do I have finals? Okay. So, mamas, if you know, that's awesome, but we got to make sure your teen knows. So, that is definitely tip 2 for you as we are talking in this series about getting ready for the end of the semester. And we got to know finals, yes, no, or we don't know right now. Okay. Now, do you know I have an awesome Facebook group I would love to have you join after the video. So, if you're not a member of Teaching Teens Love Learning, there's a link in the description to, click on, answer a couple questions, and join us. But do that after the video. All right. So we've talked about finals as to when they are. Okay. So hopefully at this point in the semester, like we talked about yesterday, how many days are left. If we're talking like less than 2 months, which I'm assuming is pretty true for pretty much all of you watching here on Facebook and on YouTube, the schools should have an idea of when finals week is, or like what days finals actually are going to happen. Now, unfortunately, sometimes we don't get to know, and your teens don't get to know what class is offered, like which test is happening, like what day, or let alone even what time. So at this point, we're information gathering. We're finding out, is there already a decided finals day, week, whatever? And then has the school gone so far as to decide, okay, our one's on this day, or all math class finals are on this day? We got to find that out sooner rather than later. So encourage your teens to ask each of his or her teachers, okay? Because this is a self-advocacy thing, mamas. We don't want you being like, okay, based on your brother, you're going to have finals this day. Or, your teacher put it in the syllabus at the beginning of the semester. And so I know, okay, this is self-advocacy, mamas, which is one of the study skills I teach. We can always talk about that one-on-one, but teen has to figure out that answer. Okay, now in this information gathering, we also have to figure out what's this final going to look like. Okay, your team needs to know, is it happening? And if it is happening, okay, what's the format? What kind of timing is happening here? And then what's the content? I don't know, I've got 4 fingers up, it's 3 things. But essentially, is it a multiple choice question? Like, are those what's going to be on the final? Is there going to be like one essay question? Is it going to be like mixed? Some matching, some multiple choice, and some short answer and an essay question. Like, there's so many different options out there. Is it going to be on the computer? Is it going to be handwritten? Like, all these things go into preparing for finals. Okay. Now, depending on the age of your kiddo, most likely with finals, you have a high school or a college student. So there's a very, very good chance it's going to be cumulative. But I can tell you, in high school and college, I had some teachers that were nice. And the final was like a chapter test. And so it didn't cover everything from the first week of school. But I also had teachers that weren't nice. And like my organic chemistry, what happened is we took the chapter 4, last unit test on the same day as our final. And on top of that, our final included questions and material from all unit tests, including that one we just took. So lots of possibilities. So when your teen is asking, hey, when's the final? Then your teen needs to also find out, what can you tell me about the final? What kind of questions? How many questions? How long do I have to take this test? And what do I need to study? Okay, so lots and lots of information gathering needs to happen. The reason we're talking about this now, well, hopefully there's at least a month before the end of the semester for your children, is because the more information we have and the sooner we have it, the more your teens can prepare. Okay. Now, there's something else I want your teens to do as they are getting ready for finals that isn't just information gathering. Before I say what that is, though, I want to say again, thanks, mamas, for watching here on Facebook. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Be sure to follow. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because this is only tip 2. And there's at least 2 more tips I want to share with you. And, easiest way to find out what they are is to follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I go live. And for anybody who doesn't know, I'm Jessyka Coulter, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. I teach teens how to learn through study skills. And I gotta tell you, these study skills, very, very important for any type of studying, any type of big test like finals we're talking about today. Okay? All right. So once we do our information gathering, the other important part of preparing for finals is to figure out, what does your teen know now? Okay. We are over a quarter into the semester. Maybe if you do trimesters, it's a little different, but still we're pretty much, a chunk of the way through the school year, chunk of the way through the semester, which means there's been a lot of content covered already, and there's probably more coming your teen's way. Well, we got to know right here and now, does your teen remember everything that was covered at the beginning of the semester? Or is it long gone? All right. If your children do not remember what was on that first unit test, what was on those first couple of pop quizzes, that's a problem. And it's something to worry about, especially if your kid has a cumulative final. Okay. So ask your teen to do some review. Okay. Ask your teen to figure out, what did you learn the first couple weeks of class? Like, what was your first test all about? Now, I love doing brain dumps. That's something I teach teens in my Love to Learn Study Skills program. It's an awesome way to see what has stuck and even what's floating around up there. Okay. So have your teen do a brain dump. You can make it as broad or narrow as you want, as broad and narrow as they want to do. It can be something like, write everything down that you've learned in science this semester. Or it could be, have your teen, spend 20 minutes going through all the old homework assignments for this class, for this semester, and then ask them, okay, now spend, 5-10 minutes. I usually don't go more than 10 minutes writing down everything that you remember or that you had to know to do that homework, the formulas, the vocab words, like anything that's sticking. Okay. The other thing I really want your teens to do to get ready for finals, as we are, getting closer to the end of the semester, is to really think about his or her learning style. Okay. I'm a big, big believer. This is kind of, how I teach the study skills I teach, is your teen needs to know, okay, how do I learn? Am I visual? Am I auditory? Am I kinesthetic or tactile, hands-on? Okay. We got to know how your teen learns, because that learning style is going to be so important for these next few weeks when your teen's studying for finals. It's important sitting in the classroom, sitting at home. If your teens get ready to do some serious final prep, actually take time to study, we got to make sure your teen does it the right way. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste of time. It's not going to go near as well as it could. So we're going to talk about all of this, learning styles, more study tips, learning in general, how to get through finals, all that good stuff in my Facebook group called Teaching Teens to Love Learning. So now would be an awesome time to click on that link, answer a couple questions about your teen's study habits, your teen's ages, and if you want to, provide your email address so I can tell you all about my upcoming events, both free and paid. There's some awesome ones happening in December, let alone February and beyond. So thank you so much for being here. Hope to see you tomorrow, and even better, see you in the group Teaching Teens Love Learning. Bye, mamas.